What is up, everyone? It is BrickLover18 here today, and welcome to another episode of Ask Brick. Ask Brick is my Q&A show here on YouTube where you can ask me any questions about LEGO, my life, anything at all in the comments below using the hashtag AskBrick, and I will answer it up here on an episode. I am so excited for the list of questions we've got in today's episode, so let's hop right into it. Of course, before we get started, please don't forget to leave your Ask Brick questions down in the comments below so I can answer them on a future episode. Let's get started with the first question. Ireland Pokemon asked, Ask Brick, when you were working at the LEGO store, has anyone ever tried to steal anything? So I would say it was just like any other store in any other mall. Yes, people did try and steal stuff. It didn't happen all the time, but it definitely did happen. So at the LEGO store here in Canada specifically, I know every province and every state has a little bit different, but Ontario, our policy was not to engage with the shoplifter. If we noticed somebody shoplifting, our goal was to go up and say, hello, how are you doing? How can I help you today? Are you finding everything you're looking for? Do you want me to hold, any of the sets behind the counter until you're finished purchasing? We were supposed to say things like that. We were never ever supposed to call them out for stealing, and we were never supposed to touch them or grab the sets or run after them or anything like that. If we noticed someone shoplifting and we tried doing those approaches and they weren't really receptive to it or anything like that, we were supposed to give mall security a call and they would deal with it once they left the store. Because here in Canada, it's not shoplifting unless you've left the store. So we didn't really do anything as LEGO store employees, and yes, people did try and steal there. It is a LEGO store, so I would say some of it's definitely harder to steal. It's not like minifigures are pretty easy, you can shove those in your pockets, but like most big sets, it's a lot harder to steal. But yes, unfortunately it did happen and people did try and steal stuff. It happened a few times. I don't really remember many times. One story in particular did stand out though, and that was actually when we had a man who came into the mall. He was in my store. He was doing some shopping. I got a call. I answered it. I'm like, hello. And they're like, this is the mall security. You have a man in your store right now. We are watching him from the cameras and from our surveillance team outside. He's dressed like this. You see him. Do not look at him. And I was like, okay. And they were like, he is stealing. He's stolen from a few other stores and he's going to steal from yours. Let him steal. Do not talk to him. Do not approach him. Do not try and get him to not steal. We want him to steal because we want to catch him and we want to book him. And that was one time that really stood out to me because I had to be like, okay, yes, understood. And then I had to tell the rest of my store employees, do not talk to him, do not look at him, just let him steal. He stole some architecture sets, they busted him as soon as he left the store. It wasn't anything crazy exciting, but it did happen, he did steal, and it made for a pretty cool story. I was like, I felt undercover, I was like, yes, security. Yes, I'm on it. No, definitely not looking at the subject. And then it was like, as soon as he left out, I'm like, take him down. But it was good. That was a fun time, definitely, when that happened at the LEGO store. But for the most part, we didn't really notice a ton of stealing, to be totally honest with you. But I'm sure it did happen. The next question here is from TJ Bricks. Ask Brick, when you worked at the LEGO store, did you ever get to put pieces on the pick-a-brick wall? And if so, what was it like? Yeah, I got to put pieces on the pick-a-brick wall all the time. It was part of my, my job especially when I was doing stock in the mornings. That was something I did a lot. And it was my job once a piece, a box came in with new parts. If we had room on the wall or, sometimes we just put it in the back and then throughout the week when we had a thing open up, it was my job to open it up. In terms of what was it like, it was super easy. You just unhitch the pick-a-brick drawer, you slide it out, and then you pour the box into the bin. I can't remember if one box or two boxes filled the pick-a-brick bin. All I remember is, God forbid you spill or slip or something like that and the parts will go everywhere. In terms of what's it like, it's just a little tedious. You're trying to make sure all the parts actually get in the bin without spilling all over the floor. You're trying to be a little strategic because you don't want to put two things of the same color side by side. You want to space it out and make it look pretty and stuff like that. But honestly, it was just like filling a bin of Lego here at your house. Like you have a box of Lego, you pour it into another box. It wasn't anything too exciting other than the strategy that went behind it, like I mentioned. For the most part, it was pretty easy to do, pretty self-explanatory, and honestly, it wasn't that exciting because you were just pouring Lego from one box into another. Mancy Bricks asks, Ask Brick, what is your favorite LEGO minifigure? So this one's actually a little bit of a tough one because there are so many LEGO minifigures that I really like, in my LEGO collection and LEGO in general. So instead of just picking one, I'm going to show you a few of my favorites. So for starters, one of my favorite LEGO minifigures is the Chase McCain minifigure. I remember just trying to get this poly bag and I loved it when it came out. I like how it looks and I just thought it was a really cool, unique thing for LEGO City Undercover, and I just thought it was awesome. I also really love the LEGO store employee. Again, backstory, trying to get this one was a really difficult, and once I got it, I was just super, super excited. It took me a really long time to add that guy to my LEGO collection, so I love it. Of course, I also love all these really cool convention LEGO minifigures, some from like Brickfest, from the BrickFest in Canada, and then of course I've got the really rare Kevin Hinkle business card minifigure, so that one's really awesome to have. Of course, I also love all of the custom LEGO minifigures that I've been able to add to my LEGO collection. A few more down here as well that look really, really awesome. I also love the Emmett LEGO minifigure, both just the generic one, but especially these really cool Toys R Us exclusive promotions one from back in 2014 when the LEGO movie originally came out. Of course, I have to tell you guys that I also love my LEGO Sig Fig, and I really can't forget the classic Space Guy either. Truthfully, LEGO minifigures are some of my favorite parts about collecting LEGO. I love so many of them. That's why it was impossible to choose just one favorite. And it even made this segment hard just showing you some of my top favorites because there are honestly just so many. Armin said, ask Brick, do you ever miss your old LEGO studio? And if you do, what do you do to snap out of it? For those of you who don't know, before I moved to this LEGO room here, I actually used to rent an office space in downtown Toronto for my LEGO studio. I moved out in 2021 when I got this apartment because it has such a large second bedroom for LEGO, and I wanted to have everything back under one roof. So in terms of do I miss the studio? I miss the idea of the studio. I'm really fortunate now that my LEGO room here in my condo is actually bigger than my old studio space. It's better climate controlled, it's got better internet, and of course it's attached to my house. So it's in all ways, it's just a better space. It's one open space instead of two individual spaces. I don't have to drive to get there anymore. So no, I don't actually really miss my studio too much. I miss the idea of it. I miss the idea of being able to say I rent an office space in downtown Toronto for my business. I miss the idea of, saying I get to go to work and, sometimes going in my car and driving to the office and doing stuff there and then going home. I miss the idea of that. But in terms of everything else, like the convenience of it, the climate control, the internet, being able to like cook dinner and then come back in here, do a quick meeting in my living room and then come back here, like in all other areas, this is so much better to have my LEGO back under one roof. And so no, I don't really miss the office space that much. I just miss, like I said, the idea of it. But in terms of convenience and the quality of life, it is so much better having my LEGO collection here in my condo versus having to commute back and forth from an office. When I have those thoughts and be like, oh, I kind of miss the office, what I do to snap out of it is just remember, I've got my LEGO here now. I can save the 15-minute commute getting to the office. I can do 20 minutes of LEGO if I wanted to versus before I had to go and, make it worth my while with a 40-minute commute there and back. I had to be like, I got to spend at least a few hours here. I go there with a list. Sometimes, God forbid, I forget a memory card or I forget my laptop charger. Now I can't even edit video. So now the fact that everything's right here, I just remember how much more convenient it is now and how much cooler it is to get to have everything in my house. And it is, completely snapped out of it. So sometimes while I miss the idea, I know for the best it is here. I know that I'm able to be more productive. I'm able to get more done and I'm able to do and enjoy my LEGO more. So it is so much better being here than having a separate space for the LEGO collection 100%. And that's why I decided to move it all back under one roof. Todd Holman asked, ask Brick, where did you get that awesome pirate flag behind the Barracuda base set? So here's my Pirates of Barracuda base set right here, and of course this is the LEGO flag that he is talking about. So fun fact, I actually got this flag here back in 2016 at Philly Brickfest, the LEGO convention, and I don't even know if it happens anymore, but essentially what you could do is you could fill a Brick Builders Club box with some of their accessories, some LEGO sets, and good stuff like that, and included I actually got the flag. So I went back and took a look at my LEGO haul from 2016, and here is the story behind getting that flag.
The Brick Builders Club also had a booth set up where you actually got to fill a box with one t-shirt and a couple of other things. Here's the box. I'm just going to quickly open it up here. This Jolly Roger LEGO minifigure flag.
Of course, if you guys want to see the full haul video, you'll have to do that. It is the Philly Brickfest 2016 LEGO haul. You guys can tell it was quite a long time ago, but got some other cool things in that video and the haul as well. And this flag is something that stuck with me ever since. I just had it random places here in my LEGO room. And then, of course, once I built the Pirates of Barracuda base set back in like 2020, I think it was, I knew that I wanted to have that on display. And I figured this flag would be the perfect thing to put behind it. Mainly because this set is so large, it takes up so much space on the Billy bookcase. And without the flag, it would have just been been a lot of white space, and well, it wouldn't have looked very good. We'll do the last question here. This one is from Darren User. Ask Brick, are you ever going to apply for the LEGO Ambassador program? This is something I've talked about on my channel a few times now, but yes, I have actually applied for the LEGO Ambassador program in the past, and unfortunately I have been rejected all the times I've applied. I think I've applied twice now and been rejected both times. It obviously just isn't in the cards for me right now, but it is something that I probably will apply for again in the future. I've got some of my own thoughts on the LEGO Ambassador program that I'd be more than happy to expand on in another video if that's something that you guys want to hear, but I have applied for the LEGO Ambassador program. I've unfortunately been rejected twice, and I don't really have any plans to apply for the program again in the near future, but I'm not ruling out ever applying again. It's not something in the cards for the next little bit. Anyway, you guys, that's all the questions that I will be answering here in today's episode of Ask Brick. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and of course subscribe. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought, and of course, please don't forget to leave me some questions for next week's episode of Ask Brick. Anyway, guys, thanks again so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you here in the next video.